Thank you, the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission. We're glad to have you on Frontier Africa Report. The whole idea of a demutualized stock exchange as a regulator and this milestone that the Nigerian Stock Exchange crossed today, what important role has the SEC played in this demutualization arrangement, and what more role will you play moving forward when the exchange finally moved to being a PLC?
First of all, I'd like to start by congratulating you yourself for the milestone that you have reached in your life. I recalled the early days of your life, how you covered the capital market. I think you and I grew together in this market. And I want to say that you have done a very good job. And that the history of the capital market will never be complete without you. So I want to congratulate you for this milestone yourself.
Thank you.
For the stock exchange, like I said earlier, I am very happy indeed. I did not want to come here today. I had earlier sent my 2 staff to be here. But when Oscar gave me a call and told me how important today is in the history of the capital market, I thought it was important that I am here myself to lend my support to this very important day, not just to the Nigerian Stock Exchange, but to the whole of the capital market for which the SEC is the regulator. Now, what has been our support? Over the years, I recall, I think as far back as over 7 years ago, this topic has been, we've been talking about demutualization of the exchange. I mean,
I never thought it's going to happen.
Yes. We have had a lot of seminars. We have had a lot of road shows. We had gone to study tours of other countries. I remember the very first one I went to was in Malaysia, when we heard about how Malaysia demutualized. That was how would you say it? Like example. Everybody wanted to hear what was the story of Malaysia and all of that. And we studied all of that. We thought it would take place year 1, year 2, year 3. It didn't happen. So many things. But as everything Nigeria, it has finally happened today. So all of those years are forgotten. The important thing is that, as the Bible would say, it has come to pass today. So it's an important day. Yes, we did a bit. What we supported the stock exchange and indeed the capital markets, throughout the process. A committee was set up. We served in the committee. We also were part of those that reviewed the law. We also set other structures in place and ensured that everything succeeded. We met the rules, and we waited for them to come up with their own rules, which they did. Our rules committee, we vetted it and we approved it. So all of the structures was carried out with a supportive role to ensure that this comes to pass, because it is a desirable thing, not just for the stock exchange as an institution, but for the capital market in general and the whole of Africa. And then going forward, what would be our role? Again, as regulators, we have to be able to ensure that investors are properly protected in this market. So we must ensure that the Chinese wall is properly kept, the regulation aspect of it, and then the business aspects of this whole entity is also, kept separately. Don't forget that as time goes on, the exchange group would have to also list, in its own exchange. And then they will have to be competing with other listed companies who are already listed on that same exchange. So you have to be sure that there is no conflict of interest. There is no favoritism. You have to be sure of that there is transparency, in all of the things that they do. You also have to ensure that the regulatory aspect of the exchange does not favor the exchange more. So this is really the time to work, to ensure that we instill confidence, not just in the local investors, but also with other foreign investors that would come. You also know that maybe as time goes on, the exchange might want to come to the market, to raise funds, because it's now a business. Yes, it's now a business. You have to ensure that every regulation that you extend, all the processes are properly followed just like, you know, all other listed companies.
So I'm just going to say that you have a new baby
Yes.
in your hand who is grown, 60 years old, and has been reborn again.
Oh, yes.
So it's a whole lot of work for you. Congratulations.
A whole lot of work.
I'm sure you must be the happy midwife.
I am the happiest mother. I am the happiest mother.
Thank you.
And
During
you can
your
be
tenure,
sure that we will midwife this exchange to a full-grown company.
Thank you. We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.